Good morning children, this is A. Manoj Kumar. Now I am going to explain about the natural realms of the earth. Good morning children, this is Manoj Kumar working in Oxford High School, Uppugunduru. In this session I will explain you external forces. We already saw how rocks and mountains rise up due to the internal processes. External forces like water and air are working vigorously to wear away the surface, and the interaction of these constructive and destructive forces gives rise to the great diversity of present day landforms. These external processes on one hand wear away the surface of the rocks and mountains, then they transport the worn out particles and deposit them in lowlands and basins. The process of wearing away and deposition causes a general leveling of the surface, such a way earth is leveling. This shaping of the landforms by wind and water are called third order landforms by geographers. These landforms include the features like carved mountains, valleys, deltas, sand dunes. All these comes under third order landform category. One of the third order landform carved mountain. Another image of carved mountains. Another image of carved mountains. Another third order landform valley. Another third order landform deltas. Another image of deltas. Another third order landform sand dunes. Processes like weathering, erosion, transportation, and deposition are largely responsible for these landforms. Which landforms? Third order landforms. Let me explain about weathering and erosion. See this image, due to the weathering and erosion, such kind of forms takes place. Due to the weathering and erosion, lot of landforms forming. It is known as a denudation process. Denudation is a continuous process. Denudation of rocks. The lowlands what we see today were once mountains and plateaus. Landforms continuously keep on changing due to denudation activities. But these changes occur very slowly. The structure of mountains, plateaus and plains keep on changing through process known as erosion cycle or geomorphic cycle. This is very important. Remember this one. How air and water transform the surface of the earth. Okay, shall we discuss? This image showing the water cycle. Rocks were formed out of molten material coming from the mantle of the earth. It is molten material, such a way rocks are forming. Now for you one question. These rocks over millions of years have been shaped into valleys and plains of loose soil, river valleys cut into mountains and plateaus, etc. Now, how did this happen? Actually, the hard primary rocks are broken into smaller pieces. These smaller pieces are cut off from the parent rock and carried lower down to other places and deposited there. This process is formally defined as follows. Next one, weathering. Image of weathering activity. The gradual disintegration of rocks by atmospheric forces or weather forces. The rocks when exposed to heat expand and contract when cooled down. Day by day, every day, expanding and contracting activity taking place, rock's point of view. Then, whenever sunrises are falling, it may expanded. Night time, then it contracted. This happens every day during day and night and through year after year in summer and winter seasons as surface rock contracts and expands and contrasts again, it gradually becomes brittle and begin to break down. Water and moisture in the air also helps this process. Water reacts with the chemicals of the rocks and further weaknesses the rocks. These processes by which the rocks are weakened and broken are called weathering. Look at a large cracked rock and you will find that the color of the internal core of the rock is different from the outer layer. The color of the outer layer changes due to the process of weathering. Very, very important. You will find it easier to chip small pieces of rock from the outer layer rather than from the core of the rock. For you one question, why do you think the rock is harder inside than outside? Tell me anybody. You are observing the breaking of rocks. Second one, erosion. Flowing water and blowing wind have great power and can slowly wear away or cut away the rocks and soil cover in higher places. Such a way, some places cutted by the water and wind. Water acts in many ways as rain, river, flowing groundwater, sea waves, glaciers, etc. Wind too takes many forms like storms, gusts, steady winds, etc. The active wearing away of the earth's surface by these moving agents is called erosion. Next one, transportation. This is a transportation image. The eroded material in the forms of small rocks, gravel, mud, fine soil, etc. carried by winds and water is called transportation. Images of small rocks and gravel. Image of mud, fine soil. Rivers and winds and even waves cut soil and rocks from one place and take them to distant places, sometimes hundreds of kilometers. Image of rivers and winds and even waves cut soil and rocks. Next one, deposition. When the rivers and winds slow down, they do not have the force to carry the material anymore and they dump them in certain place. This dumped debris help to form plains and river basins. Much of it is actually transported by rivers to the sea, where layer after layer of these deposits accumulate in the bottom and over time get transformed into sedimentary rocks. This is the image of sedimentary rock. All four aspects of this process are taking place simultaneously in different pans of the world at different rates. depending on the nature of the slope, the structure of the rocks, the local climate, and interference by humans. Sediments and sedimentary rocks image. Another image of sedimentary rock. Next topic, work of water. Work of water image. Can you recount the course of a river from its source to its end and guess how it will erode, transport, and deposit rock materials? Then yourself you give the answer for this question. This is gravity driven slope processes move weathering debris to the base of the river valley and allow further transport by the river. The work of a river begins from its very source in the high mountains. Where rivers are originating, in high mountains rivers are originating. These are the sources of rivers. This is river originating place, top of the mountain area, this one. The flow of a river is very swift as it descends the steep slopes and it exerts a great force in cutting the mountains vertically. See this image, water is coming down by cutting the rocks, steep valleys are there, so from there river is flowing. See this image, top mountains are existed, from there rivers are originating, afterwards cutting those mountains, rivers enters into plain area. As a result, a deep valley develops, narrow at the bottom and wide at the top. This is the image of deep valley. So wider in top and narrow in down. This is usually called V-shaped valley. In this stage, water has such force that it can move even every heavy and hard rocks. This is the image of V-shaped valley. Another shape of V-shaped valley. This is another image. These are all V-shaped valleys. Do you know biggest canyon in the world on river Colorado? The Grand Canyon of Colorado is 466 kilometers in length. Its depth is 1.6 kilometers and width is 188 meters to 29 kilometers. See the images of canyon, Great Canyon of Colorado. Another image of Canyon of River Colorado. Canyon of River Colorado. Another image. See one more image of Grand Canyon of Colorado. See the beauty of Grand Canyon of Colorado. Another image of Grand Canyon of Colorado. Another image, Grand Canyon of Colorado. See one more image. How beauty it is, Grand Canyon of Colorado. See this image. One more image for you. Do you know gorges are suitable for construction of dams? Can you tell why this is so? This is the image of gorge. In some cases where the rocks are very hard, the river cuts a very narrow valley. The sides are so steep that gorges are formed. River cutting the mountain and gorges are forming. Gorge, I will give one example. The Bison Gorge, which is in Andhra Pradesh on the Godavari. Indus Gorge in Kashmir is examples of this. Another important erosion form is canyon. See the Bison Gorge, which is located in AP. Indus Gorge, which is located in Jammu and Kashmir. A canyon is characterized by steep like side slopes and may be as deep as a gorge. This is the view of canyon. See the difference between gorge and canyon is a gorge is almost equal in width as its top as well as its bottom. In contrast, a canyon is wider at its top than at the bottom. This is gorge. The waterfalls are most numerous in the mountain areas where changes of slopes are more abrupt. Image of waterfall. Another image of waterfall. Water is flowing down from the mountain. This is the beautiful image of waterfall. The waterfalls with great force and dig out the rock beneath to form a plunge pool. This is the highest waterfall in the world. Tell me the name. Yes, Angel Falls, the highest waterfall in the world. Angel Waterfalls located in Venezuela. Another image of Angel Waterfall. One more image of Angel Waterfall. As the river enters the plain, the slope is gentle and the river also slow down. Tell me, what is the source point of a river? Yes, mountain ranges. From there, river having great strength. Afterwards, it reaches the plain area. Automatically, gradually, it loses its strength. Whenever it reaches the plain area, it does not have the force to carry heavy particles and deposits them on its banks or on its bed. Sometimes when the river is in flood, it has a greater force and cuts the soil called silt, and when it is not in flood, it deposits silt. A layer of sediment is thus deposited during each flood, gradually build up a fertile floodplain. This is how vast floodplains like the Ganga and the Krishna plain, Godavari plains were made. When the flood water comes again, the river bed may have become too high as a result of the deposition. Then it changes its course and cuts a new path. This results in the river constantly changing its course in a plain. In its floodplain, the river often forms mandas, gentle turns like a snake. That is the formation of the mandar. I will show the images of mandas. Due to deposition along the sides of the mandar, the ends of mandar loop comes closer and closer. In due course of time, the mandar loop cuts off from the river and forms a cut-off lake, which is called Oxbow Lake. Very important. Remember this one. In your textbook, this image given, once go through. Before flood, this is the form of river. During flood, this is the formation of the river. After many floods, this is the formation of river. What you are observing here in the first image, then generally river okay now flowing in normal manner. Whenever during floods period, then it is bringing silt and depositing on the bed of the river. Again and again, whenever floods come repeatedly, then silt is depositing. Afterwards, river changing its course. Okay, then forming the Oxbow lakes. This image tells you how Oxbow Lake is forming. One loop is separating from the main river, that is Oxbow Lake. This is the image of formation of Oxbow Lake. One more image of Oxbow Lake. What you are observing here, this is the river path, river course. So here one loop is created. So keep on flowing like this. Whenever floods will come, it's changing its course. Which one? River changes its course, then it will take another path and flow that side. Slowly this one forming the, this loop is forming the Oxbow Lake. This is the waterfall image. Explain how the waterfalls are useful. Collect the information about the waterfalls in Andhra Pradesh. Collect some of the pictures of waterfalls. Yourself, you collect this data and note down it. Tell me, I will ask few questions. What is the highest waterfall in the world? Yes, Angel Waterfall. Height of Angel Waterfall is 979 meters. On which river it is located? Yes, Churan. Where it is located? Venezuela. Second highest waterfall in the world is Tugela Falls. Height is 947 meters. On which river it is located? Tugela. In which country it is existed? Yes, South Africa. Tell me, highest waterfall in India is? Yes, Jog Falls. It is located in Jorsappa. Height is 253 meters. On Sharavati river it is existed. So it is in Karnataka. When a river reaches the sea, the fine material which has not yet dropped is deposited at its mouth. In this image, deltas given, Krishna delta, Godavari delta given. This is delta image. The word delta is originated from the Greek alphabet delta. Here some questions given. Once go through these questions, try to answer it. Again for you one question. Do you know the largest delta in the world is? Yes, Sundarbans delta. Where Sundarbans delta is located? In India and Bangladesh, it is existed. Which one? Sundarbans delta. Especially in West Bengal and Bangladesh, it is existed. Images of Sundarbans deltas. One more image of Sundarbans delta. It is formed at the mouths of rivers Ganga and Brahmaputra. Which one? Sundarbans delta. The rivers Krishna and Godavari together make two large deltas in Andhra Pradesh. Look for these on a map of India. This is the image of Krishna Godavari delta. Another image of Krishna Godavari delta. One more image of Krishna Godavari delta. Now I am concluding this session. Then in the next session I will explain you work of glaciers. Okay. Then once you go through your textbook page by page, you observe what I explained up to now. Thank you very much.